Welcome, everyone, to the 9th episode of my new podcast, Pug, Fireball, and Company. My guest today is Byron Browne, a former outfielder who played 3 years with the Chicago Cubs, 3 years with the Philadelphia Phillies, 1 year with the St. Louis Cardinals, and 1 year with the Houston Astros from 1965 to 1972. And if I got that wrong, you can blame baseballreference.com because that's where I got the information. Good afternoon, Byron. Please share with us where you are from and where you went to school.
I was born and raised in St. Joseph, Missouri. Went to Central High School there, and I attended St. Joseph Junior College and Missouri Western State University, where I have a degree in social science, and I coached for their baseball team with Coach Doug Minnis. But it's been a great experience with me because you're familiar with CFM in Des Moines, Iowa. I worked there for approximately 7 years to teach kids all facets of the game and life skills. Other than that,
Very
it's been
good.
fun. Yeah.
You played sports in high school, I presume?
I played football, basketball, track, and baseball, all of them.
Which was your best sport?
I was pretty good in basketball, but baseball I had a love for.
What position did you play in basketball?
I was a strong guard, off forward, but I controlled the ball. I set up the plays.
Did you ever play in any state tournaments in high
We
school?
played in the conference, but we never made it to St. Louis. Of course, my brother and them did, and they played against Crystal City, Missouri, and they got bombed out by Senator Bill Bradley. You ever
Bill
heard of him?
Bradley. Oh, of course.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and that brought some misfortune back to my family because the basketball team wanted to go celebrate on the Missouri River, and my brother, he drowned there,
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
This was an older brother?
Kurt, yes.
Kurt? Oh, gosh. I'm very sorry for that. It's too bad.
Other than that, it's been a very wonderful time out here because of the love of the game. It's where I want to share my experiences of playing baseball to the younger generation because there were older gentlemen that shared their experiences with me and made me fall in love with baseball.
When did you sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates?
I signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1963.
Did any other teams express interest in you besides the Pirates?
Well, yeah, and it's where, during those days, I just wanted to play ball. And Pirates signed me, and I went to Daytona Beach, and that was an experience in itself when it comes to prejudice.
Yeah,
you go down to Daytona Beach in March, during the spring break, and all the guys wanted to walk on the shore, and they had spring break, and all these crazy students called us all kinds of names. What saved us was the state trooper, He says, "I think you boys better leave." And he told all those other people they were coming for us. And I'll never forget that experience. But look,
wow.
I love America. This is my country, and they've done some great things for me, and I've done some great sharing and doing things for my America,
How much racial, if we can back up, how much racial prejudice did you experience in St. Joe growing up?
Oh, well, let's put it this way. As a little leaguer, we were playing up on Devil's Backbone. That's a big kind of off mound of our hill. And we were playing in a tournament, and looking down the left field line on the other side of the fence, there was a Klansman walking with the staff. and he stood there, and everybody tried to hit home runs. We tried to nail him, and eventually the police came and removed him.
This would have been in the 1950s, I'm
Yes,
guessing. Yeah.
yes,
So the
yes.
Klan,
Where are you from originally?
the Klan was
Huh?
in Missouri even in the 50s, huh?
Yeah, where are you from?
Well, I was born in Clarinda, Iowa, southwest
Oh,
Iowa.
great.
Yeah, where Ozzie Smith played summer ball before he
Yeah,
went
well, I
pro.
played against a lot of Iowa in amateur ball.
The Clarinda
So I'm familiar
Athletics.
with it.
Yeah, home of Merle Eberly, the great Merle Eberly, coach, player, coach, general manager. Yeah. But then I lived outside of Chicago when I was a kid. That's where I became a Cub fan. Oh, a couple of years in Indiana, even a couple of years in Pennsylvania. Then I went back to Illinois to go to Bradley, and I've been in the Midwest ever since. But I've been in Des Moines. I've been in Des Moines the last 10 years. It's where I retired because got grandkids and granddaughters up here.
Well, that's great because, my wife, Barbara Lukowski, she is very, very, very successful in Des Moines with her Merle Norman stores. And
Oh,
she was on principal financial board for 30 years. We have even the governor, Barbara hired her to work, the governor of Iowa. And
the
madam,
current,
huh?
the current governor.
Yes.
Anyway, huh.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I
Well,
should do a podcast with her now. I'll do a
oh
podcast with
my,
her maybe.
that would be great.
Okay,
She
okay,
deserves it. And,
okay.
Mary Kramer, Madam Ambassador Mary Kramer,
Yeah,
Kay Kramer,
I know of her. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Sonny and Roger Brooks. So, gee, we can go on and on with the influential people that we know there. I
My
mean,
gosh.
it's been an experience for me. And also, we lived at Brown Camp Loft. I'll give you that one.
Mm,
That was where Michael Gardner, he lived
right.
up on the upper floor of
Mm,
that, and we lived
mm-hmm.
on the second floor.
Hmm.
And I would frequent the Iowa Cub games,
Yeah.
and he would invite me to be in his box. And I enjoyed the Cubs because they
Mm,
won the championship that year.
yeah. 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 2019 they won. Well, yeah. 2019 the division. 1993 they of course won the whole American Association. Um. So other teams did express interest in you. Oh, okay. But why did you decide on the Pirates?
Well, they Rex Bowen and Joe Grace they approached my dad because I was still young,
Mm-hmm.
and they offered, and if anybody else offered, that wasn't free agency back then. That's
No,
just you take what's offered,
take it or leave
and
it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's where I just wanted to get ready to play ball, and I did, and I had a wonderful time. Had a dad blast a good spring, and I was sent to the New York, Pennsylvania League, and we played with Batavia, New
Oh,
York. And we had some damn good players on that ball club. When we won the New York, Pennsylvania title, and of course Bob Lee and myself were MVP, and
wow.
that carried over for me. And the Pirates really couldn't protect me because they had Clemente, Stargio, and all those guys that they had to
Fellows. Yeah,
protect. And John Holland, who is from St. Joe,
that's right.
he knows
Yeah.
of my family, and
Hmm.
they took me in the free agent draft. And the rest is where I enjoyed the Cubs. I enjoyed all my roommates, and I really wanted to play like they did. And that was my first roommate was Billy Williams.
Oh,
Well, I had Lou Brock during the spring, back in
oh. Before they
60.
traded him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
before they traded him. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And from there, I got called up in '64. Now, this is something you're not aware of. I had a great year in the New York, Pennsylvania, not the New York, excuse me, I had it in Wenatchee, Washington, in
Okay.
the Northwest League.
Okay.
And I had a good year, and I got called up by the Cubs to meet the team in Los Angeles. And Billy Wim was my roommate, and he congratulated me, and he goes, by the way, you're in the game tonight. I said, well, who's pitching? He goes, oh, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
And I get to Dodger Stadium. You know how
Yeah.
pristine Dodger Stadium is. It's like
Yes.
Hollywood. And
Yeah.
man, I was firing
Wow.
balls out of there, batting practice and everything. And it was like everybody complimenting me, making the big leagues and all that. And, you know, I really enjoyed Bob Kennedy. He was the manager then. And
Right.
it was, you're in the game, just let's get with it. You know, that announcer in LA had that bland voice. Ladies and gentlemen, get your scorecards ready for tonight's game. Leading off, and it was Kessinger, Becker,
Yeah.
Santo, Williams, Banks, Brown, and tonight pitching for the Cubs, Bob Henley. And tonight, for your Los Angeles Dodgers, Wills, I guess Gilliam, Fairley, who else? Well, anyway, and tonight, pitching for your Los Angeles Dodgers, Sandy Koufax. Guess
When
what he
you
did?
heard that,
I went,
did you want to run the other way and leave this team?
no, I just got focused even more. That's what you do. And guess what he did? He threw a perfect game.
Pitched a no-hitter. Yeah.
He retired 27 batters. Our pitcher threw a one-hitter and lost on an error. Chris Crew threw the ball to me in left field. So that shows you how that was. Who was it? Oh, gosh. It was not Maury Wills. It was Lou Johnson. One of them stowed from second to third, and Chris Crew threw the air, throwing it. And they scored the run, and they beat us 1-0. That's still historical.
Yeah, people always remind you about that, I suppose, that you played in your first game with Sandy Koufax's no-hitter. Did the other players give you any advice on how to hit Koufax?
Billy told me to lay off his high fastball because he threw it so hard, and it get to home plate, it would be about your armpits, and by the time it got to you, it would be at your neck. You know, it's the rising fastball at 90, 95 miles an hour, you know. And then other than that, he had a super curveball. He had a slow one and a quick one, and he threw me a spitball. So,
did you complain to the umpire that he was throwing a spitball?
No, thanks. I wanted to hit. And about, I guess, 30,000, 32,000 people out there. And, you know, my first time in that experience, I'll never forget it. So, you know, just write it down, and I was there, you know. But we got him in Chicago. Bob Henley shut him out again. I hit a double off him. I almost broke the game up in Dodger Stadium. I hit a bullet to center field, and Willie Davis picked it off of his shoe tops and got me. The second one,
no-hitter?
Yeah. And the second one I hit up the middle, Maury Wills picked me and threw me out. So, and then the third time I went just like everybody else. He threw me that damn slow curve, and I went, it's strike 3, you know? So,
you did almost break up the no-hitter, boy.
Yes, sir. I sure did. And we went back to Chicago, and Henley threw a 2-hitter, and we beat him 2-0. Billy Williams jacked him for a home run.
Well, Billy could hit a lot of great pitchers. He had Bob Gibson pretty well too.
I hit Bob
Yeah.
Gibson pretty well.
Did
And
you?
he's a personal friend. He was a teammate there too. I lived in Omaha.
That's
See, that's
true.
where my brother. I lived with him during
Mm,
the off season, and we
yeah.
would play winter basketball together.
Basketball. Oh,
Yeah, Bob was very good. You know, he played with the Globetrotter.
yeah.
You know,
He and Fergie Jenkins.
yeah. Fergie
Yeah.
was my roommate too. Hey, that's what I'm disappointed about. It goes like this: Lou Brock's my roommate, Billy Wims my roommate, Ernie Banks my roommate, Fergie Jenkins
Jeez.
my roommate, and then all of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. And they go, well, what happened to you? And you know what I tell them? I was a player to be named later. If you
You
get
could
that.
you could write a book about all your roommates, Hall of Fame roommates.
Oh, I don't think so. It's a little controversy out there too.
Oh, let's see. Who are your best friends on the Cubs, and why were they your best friends?
Fergie Jenkins and Ron all of them were. All of them. We were
Mm.
great teammates. Only person that screwed that up is Leo DeRocher. Are you aware of him?
I'm going to ask you about him. Yes.
Well, I don't want to get too controversial, but it's where Leo was a character.
Yeah.
And I just still don't understand how Leo gets kicked out of the game 2 years, 2 different years for fraternizing with the mob. And Pete Rose was kicked out, and they won't accept him in the Hall of Fame because he gambled on the game.
Yeah.
But Leo
Yeah.
DeRocher gets put into the Hall of Fame as a manager. And Pete, you know, God bless him, he just passed here.
Yeah.
He was not put in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you may have a point there. Yes, I was going to ask you, how did you get along with Leo DeRocher?
Well, I don't know how to explain, man. I did my job, and it's where it's just one day. I had a heck of a day. I think that was in '67. Um, I had a heck of a day. 3 for 4. I was leading the ball club, home run, batting average, everything. RBIs. It was early in the season, and I decided to go to the Rat King. That's a club there. And as I was going, some gorgeous lady popped out of nowhere and asked me for autographs. And I can't believe I'm meeting Byron Browne. Oh my God, you hit the ball. And I said, holy cow, ain't nobody going to believe this. I said, you going to the Fink? She said, no, let's don't go there. Let's go somewhere else. Uh, okay, and I don't know this woman for nothing. I took her down to South Chicago, and we celebrated,
Yes.
had a couple of drinks, and it was Cassius Clay. It was a bunch of other celebrities down there that she met that they adored her. And
Wow.
she said, and she go like, I got to get back to those people at the Fink. Come on, take me back. I took her back, and she said, thank you. And she kissed me on the cheek, and this big guy come out of the Fink and start cussing her out and asked her where she been and all this kind of stuff. I went, holy cow. Hey, man, you don't talk to her. You shut up and get out of here. We know who you are. I went, holy cow. I was dating a girl up in North Chicago. I had an off day. I said, I'm going to go up there and tell her about this. I was driving out of drive, going up to the north, and two of Chicago's finest pulled me over. You know those guys with that strap and them high boots, and I call it that SS hat that they wore back then, gave me the riot act. And I went, what is going on here? You know, she's about that woman. Don't you ever see her? I said, what? Shut up. Oh, man. How much money you got? I went, I pull out two $20 bills. Leave it in the back seat and get out of here. So I drive up to Rallies, and I told her about it, and she said, oh, man, what have you done? Said they could have killed you, you know, like that. Come to find out, that lady was one of the McGuire sisters, and it was Sam Giaccani's girlfriend. Now, tell me. And the next day, I get a phone call from Leo DeRocher, and they said that they were optioning me out to the Texas League, Dallas Fort Worth, to work on the strike zone. Here I am leading the ball club and everything. The rest is history.
Yeah.
That's where I am on Leo. He really upset me. You know, Leo was a character. And he tried to get Ernie to retire too, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm well aware of that. Yes. And it's supposedly Oscar Gamble was released from the Cubs or traded because he dated white women.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oscar was my roommate.
Oh, so you
And
know.
the lady, and guess where? He ended up being my roommate in Philadelphia.
In Philly too.
So we took the ride out of town.
You
That was
think
the early
Leo?
days of
Yeah.
Leo.
Do you think
What do you know
DeRocher?
about Leo?
Just everything I've read and other people I've heard talk on, books I've read, and yeah. Do you think he is partly to blame for the team's collapse in 1969?
I should have been the center fielder, not Don Young. Don Young doesn't want anything to do with baseball anymore
Anymore,
because
it's sad.
everybody reminds him of those errors
Yeah.
he made against the Mets, and
Yeah.
he despises people because they remind him so much of that. But
That's
hey,
too bad.
yeah, it is. It broke his
Yeah.
heart. That's what it did.
Yeah.
And hey, Leo and them kicking their boots in. The Cubbies are coming, tra-la, tra-la. Remember all that? And they singing, kicking
Yeah.
their heels in the airport.
Yeah.
And they get
Yeah.
on the road. And we came into town when I was with St. Louis. By the way, I had a heck of a year with I got sold to St. Louis in 60, what was it? 68? I got, oh no, I got
69.
traded. I got traded.
69.
Well, 68, I got traded from the Cubs to Houston.
Right.
And you're not going to believe, have you ever heard of Aaron Pointer?
No.
You know who he belongs to? He's a brother of the Pointer sisters.
Oh, the Pointer sisters.
Yeah. So I went to Houston and in the big leagues with him. And you know who the manager was? Harry
Leo.
the Hat Walker.
Harry Walker. Okay.
And he wanted me to hit like Mateo Alou. Here I am, 6'5", a power hitter. Yeah. And he wants me to hit like Mateo Alou. And he said, if you don't hit my way, it's the highway. I went, holy cow. So they optioned me out to Oklahoma City. And there was some Bob Watson, Nate Colbert, and all those guys on that ball club. And they went their way, and they sold me to St. Louis. And then from St. Louis, I went to Tulsa. And I had, this is history with me. We had Warren Spahn and Satchel Paige, pitching coach. Warren Spahn is the manager. And I went on and had a hell of a year. I got a record. It's still out there, too. 14 for 14. That got me recalled to the major leagues. And it's still a record. You can check that out. So, and then it's like history. I was with the Cubs with Lou Brock, Vada Pinson, Kurt Flood, Roger Maris. I got his job because he just retired. You got Joe Torre, Bill White, Julian Javier, Del Maxfield, Mike Shannon, Bob Gibson, Steve Troughton, all those great ones then. And
some great teams.
Yeah, but they just come off losing the World Series in 1967, wasn't it? Against Detroit.
Against Detroit, yeah.
Yeah. And all hell was breaking loose with them Cardinals. I what the heck is going on? Because I'm from Missouri. I thought I'll be on this ball club. I can retire as a Cardinal. Nope, that didn't work. I mean, I was in the trade, controversial trade, that created free agency for what it is today.
Yes. I was going to bring that up. So October 7th, 1969, you were involved in one of the biggest trades in the past 50 plus years. The Cardinals traded you, Kurt Flood, Joe Horner, and Tim McCarver to the Phillies for Dick Allen, Jerry Johnson, and Cookie Rojas. But Flood refused to report to his new team, however, and the Cardinals later sent two more players. Willie Montanez, uh, Willie, Mount, Willie Montanez, and a minor leaguer, Jim Browning. How did you feel about Flood refusing to report to the Phillies?
He told me, "Hey man, you're young. You just got to go ahead and finish out your career." He had businesses, everything in St. Louis, and they just totally destroyed him by trading him
Mm.
to Philadelphia. And he was a great
Yeah.
artist,
Mm.
and that was amazing. Him,
So he
I
just
admired
didn't
him
want to
because
leave, huh?
no, and he was a heck of a
Mm.
painter too.
Really? So what is the significance of Flood's decision to test free agency? I think I know the answer, but what do you think is the significance of his refusal to go to Philadelphia and to create free agency?
He created free agency for what it is today. He has made more millionaires out of human beings than anybody on the planet. You know what he did? Just open the doors for all these players to hold off and say, "Hey, I don't want a raise or anything. Take the salary they had the previous year, and then they become free agents. They go to the highest bidder. Now look at it." And I'm a firm believer, off the record, that no one is worth $500 million or more for a 10-year contract. Because if you look at it, you better be Superman. Look at Mike Trout. Look what happened to him. And the only person that is really living up to that is Otani
I'm
and
telling
Judge.
you.
You know,
Yeah.
all the rest of them, there's pitchers that are hurt their arms. There's all kinds of stuff that are behind that they don't live up to those contracts, but they still are guaranteed.
Well, yeah, I would think it's especially dangerous to give pitchers a big long-term contract like that because pitchers invariably they develop sore arms. And it seems like there's a lot more sore arm pitchers today than there were when you were playing. Why is that?
Well, they throwing the ball 95 miles an hour, and that little short elbow throw. Somebody don't they?
Mm,
To me, I was trained to throw from my gluteus maximus. You know what that is.
yeah,
But they tend to throw from popping the elbow and
oh,
finish. And that wears on their rotator cuff or their
yeah,
elbow and that tendon in their elbow. And that's when they have arm problems.
yeah. What do you think that's ever going to change back to the way they used to throw? Even if they have to throw 90 miles or the upper 80s.
Well, I think it has changed. It's just some of the pitchers have developed that and they try to get them to change, but that's pretty tough when you've been doing it all your career.
Of the teams that you played for, the four teams, what was your favorite team to play for? What was your most enjoyable experience? Yeah, of those four.
I love the Chicago Cubs. I did. I loved them. I had teammates, roommates. We had a together a look at it. I mean that was a good year for the Cubs. We didn't win nothing. We got tired of hearing wait till next year, you know. But that was a good team. With the Cardinals, uh, Houston, I didn't stay there long enough to say,
Right.
but they did have
Yeah.
Joe Morgan, Jim Wynn, Rusty Staub,
Mm.
Larry Durker. I mean, John
That would be
Bateman.
good players.
Yeah.
What was it like playing with the Cubs? Though, of course, that was before lights, so you're always playing day ball, and then you were able to go do things at night. Was that the best experience to play all day baseball, or do you think they should have gone to lights earlier?
No, we should have played the night games because those day games in the sun setting in right field and the heat. Holy cow, man! It got a little testy up there around July, August. I mean, so once they put the lights in it, it changed things.
Um, when you played for the Cubs, though, did you believe they had the makings of a pennant contending team like they were in the late '60s and the early '70s? Because they had, Billy and Ronzano, Jenkins, Hundley, Kessinger, Beckert.
We we they saw it coming, and you had Sandberg pop in there, and you had those pitchers that come in. Yeah, you could see them
What do you
building.
think they
Yeah,
lacked? Why
you
why didn't
could.
they win a pennant with all those guys?
Well, because the rest of the Dodgers and the Mets snuck in there.
Yeah.
Who else? Atlanta Braves. Uh, they all kind of snuck in there too with their teams, And basically, in that era, you had to have
Mm-hmm.
pitching because everybody had hitters. I mean, and you can see the Dodgers dominated, and then Atlanta dominated, and the Mets they dominated for a while. So during that era, it was very interesting. It was
Mm.
some fine baseball back then too. If you look back in the history, there's some great ball players that come out of
I
that era.
the '50s, '60s, maybe early '70s. To me, that's kind of the golden age of baseball. 'Cause, you had Mickey Mantle to Hank Aaron to Ernie Banks, Clemente, Willie Mays. Unfortunately, I saw a lot of those guys play either Wrigley Field, Crosley Field in Cincinnati, Riverfront Stadium, Old Forbes Field. I saw the Pirates play in Old Forbes Field and the Cubs in Old Forbes Field. Municipal Stadium, I saw Indians, Orioles play, Bug Powell. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of baseball, but it's not about me.
Oh, you forget about the powerful
Oh,
big
yeah.
red machine
Bench,
too,
bench,
Cincinnati Red.
Rose, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they were there.
I was at Wrigley Field. The
Rose,
game that Ernie Banks hit his 499th home run. I was there. I just missed seeing his 500th home run
wow.
2 days, 3 days later. Darn.
Yeah, you've been to some nice ballparks, man. You got a lot of knowledge.
Well, yeah, as my
Yeah,
family
that's
would
cool.
say, useless knowledge, but no, that's okay.
What?
Uh, yeah.
Useless knowledge. Yeah, right. You have trivia to the max. You can go back and relate
So
to the game.
you played
I
all three
like that.
outfield positions, I believe.
Yes,
What was
sir.
your
And
favorite position?
I started at
Shortstop.
shortstop. I
Like
started at
Hank Aaron, he
shortstop.
started
Yeah,
in the
in
infield,
Batavia.
and they made him an
Yeah,
outfielder.
and that helped me with
Oh,
my
really?
throwing. That helped
Well,
your
in high
arm.
school, did you play shortstop in high school? No, third base.
Third
No.
base.
So,
Yep, sure
so
did.
which
Amateur ball.
which?
Amateur ball. But I practice all of it though. We go out there, and this guy, God bless him,
Mm,
Bobby Hutchison, he would fungal us all day, catch fly balls and run and field and throw. I appreciate what he did for me.
so, was your favorite position center field, right field, or left field?
I like
Mm,
right field because I had a
mm.
strong arm, and center field was I'd play anywhere
Yeah,
to play. You
yeah.
know, that's the way it is. I just wanted to play.
That's what the older ball players, and I had heard a lot of them talk that they just want to be in the lineup. That was the big thing because if they were afraid if they sat out, even with an injury, that they would go back to the minor leagues. Somebody would come up, take their place, and they never be in the majors. I've heard a lot of the players say that, the older guys. Yeah, yeah.
You're right, absolutely correct, and that did happen. You got to get into the
And
lineup,
hopefully
man.
stay.
Or no. Nobody wants to sit around. We want to
What did you
play.
do after you retired from baseball?
Oh man, I did everything. Um, Holy cow! I worked for Uniroyal. You know those air deflectors on those tractor
Okay.
trailers?
Yeah.
I introduced that to the trucking industry from Maine to West
Wow.
Virginia. I drove with that equipment in a van and installed them and showed them how it
Hmm.
worked to all the trucking industries until my boss, I'm never going to forget him, Browning, you've done such good work. We hate to inform you, but we don't need the service anymore. And here I am making 50, 60 grand a year, driving all the way from Maine to West Virginia. And they made it as an option on the tractor trailer. And you see them now. I mean, they are, if you look at those tractor trailers, that is Uniroyal's
Well, there you
invention,
go.
you know? So it's a great experience that way. It kept me working. And then from there, I taught school. Then from there, I had my baseball schools, and I worked for a liquor industry in Washington, D.C., and that was an experience in itself. Holy cow, man.
Liquor.
I mean, I don't, man, that is really weird, that, the liquor
Hmm.
industry. And I controlled the White House, all the high
You
rolling places,
provided
you
the
know, and
you provided
concerts
the
and
White
everything.
House with liquor.
Huh? Well, they did. When they order, I just go in there and take a truck and reload. We just wine, spirits, and beer. They had a section back, and that's the reason why I'm disappointed about what happened in the White
Mm,
House. You know, with that guy running with that
yeah.
Confederate flag, that kind of
Yeah.
disturbed me.
Uh,
You know. Anyway, that's the past, though.
did you do any? Well, you said baseball schools. Did you do any coaching like at the high school or college level after you retired?
I
Oh,
coached on a college level,
okay.
Missouri Western State,
Hmm.
with Doug Menace. I took his job when he had a heart attack, and we led that ball club to a one out of way from coming to the College World
Wow.
Series. And that's a
Hmm.
small school.
Yeah.
Not small anymore, though. That's where the Kansas City Chiefs work in their
Oh,
football
really?
field for spring
Oh.
practice and
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. Very proud of Missouri Western. It's a good school. My brothers went there too and did well
Is that in
basketball.
St. Joe?
You know, I got brothers.
Oh, okay.
St. Joe, yeah. My brother Mark, 7 foot. Uh, Jeff,
Good
6'8".
grief. So,
Michael, 6'6". Kenny, 6'7". And I'm 6'5".
how tall was your dad?
Yeah, my dad was
Oh,
about 6'3". But my
yeah, very
mom,
short.
she was about
Oh,
5'11". But my mom's dad was six
that's
five. I think we got that
better
off
for
of
your
him.
mom. You're doing this a little at the start, but explain your ties or your wife's ties to Des Moines. I know there's a connection there with Des Moines. Yeah, what's your connection to Des Moines?
Barbara, my wife,
Yeah.
but Barbara, that's where she is prominent, pronounced. I met her here in Arizona at a celebrity
Oh,
golf tournament. And, I just thought it was going to be a friendship and things. And we just got together and fell in love, and I
yeah.
love her forever.
Hi,
Say hi,
Barbara.
Barbara.
Hi.
I'm glad you guys got me
Yes,
going.
thank you very much for helping us out. So, how long have you two been married?
Yeah,
Oh my
23
gosh. Well,
years.
congratulations. Uh, how often do you get
Thank
back
you.
to Central Iowa?
We just came back. We were up there
Hmm.
for a month to visit, and Barbara has a granddaughter that we're praying for to stay strong because she
Oh,
has
sorry to
cancer.
hear that.
And we went to make sure and show love and care for the family, and you know
Oh,
what I mean? Yep. And we'll we'll go back to Iowa as much as possible.
Well, I'll
You
tell
know,
you.
I don't want to go
No,
there
I
during the
don't
winter.
blame you. Well, I'll tell you what, if you ever, when you're back here and you got a spare moment, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, call me or email me and we can go out and have a beer or coffee or something. And occasionally I get out to Arizona. My youngest daughter lives out there now, north side of Phoenix,
Well, you come. Let me
and I'll
know
let
if
you
you're in
know.
town. You let me know
Do you
when you're
know a
in
guy
town.
named Jim Marshall,
You know.
former player?
Yes, I do. He used to
He
be
he
my
lives
manager.
he
Is he
lives
still
out there
alive?
too. He's like
I-
93, I think, and
Yeah, Jim used to be the
he's
manager for
out
me,
there in Phoenix.
and he worked with the. Yeah, he
Yeah,
worked the
for a long
Diamondbacks.
time.
You know.
So I could
Yeah, I used to.
look both
Go
of
ahead.
you up. Yeah, I still talk to him about once a month, and I
Yeah.
did podcasts with him too.
Well, tell him
Oh
I
well,
said
I'm
hi.
sure.
He'll know who
I
I
did a
am.
podcast with him too. Well, as we round this up here, thanks, Byron, for spending part of your day with us. And speaking of baseball, you can get my book, Pug Fireball and Company, 116 Years of Professional Baseball in Des Moines, Iowa, by going to pugfireballandcompany.com. The book is also available 6 places around Des Moines. Altoona, I'm going to send you one. Yes, it's available at Beaverdale Books and In Tandem Arts and Authors Gallery and Bookstore in Des Moines, Hidden Treasures Gifts and Book TQ in Altoona, Dog-Eared Books in Ames, Patroner's Bookstore in Indianola, and Barnes & Noble on University Avenue in West Des Moines. And, yeah, while we're in the middle of pro football season, believe it or not, let's not forget the Chicago Cubs and Iowa Cubs. The Chicago Cubs open their 25 season on March 18th, 19th. Get this, at the Tokyo Dome against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
They're going to be
They
in
open the season
Japan.
in Japan
They're going to open in
against the
Japan.
Dodgers in Japan.
Wow.
The Iowa Cubs will open the 25 season on Friday, March 28th at home against Omaha. And of course, March 8th in the Midwest, it might be snowing then. Who knows? But we'll find out. It might be.
You might. I remember those
Um,
days opening up in April
March
in
and April is a
Chicago
little
and it
iffy.
snowed.
Yes. Yes. I was at the opener in 71 when they beat the Cardinals 2-1 on Billy Williams' home run in the 10th inning. Ferguson Jenkins and Bob Gibson pitched. They both pitched the complete 9-10 innings. No relief pitchers. They pitched the whole way, and Billy Williams won the game with a home run. About 40,000 people. I stood the whole time. The wind was coming in off the lake. It was probably like 42 at game time, probably in the 30s by the end of the game. But they won, so I was happy. I was frozen, but I was happy. Yeah,
That was a great experience. To send you home better. You warm up
exactly.
when
Then
they
we went
win.
across to the Cubby Bear Lounge and got warmed up. Well,
Yes,
this has
sir,
been a great
buddy.
experience.
Yes, sir. Well,
Really, thanks for doing this.
it has been.
Thanks for doing this. I love it. Yeah,
I
and thanks
appreciate
to your
it,
wife
Steve.
there for helping set all this up. It was definitely worth the wait.
Yep.
And so this, let's see, this is Tuesday, so it should be go live on Thursday or Friday. I will send you the link where you can click on that and you
Uh-huh.
can see your performance on the podcast. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm happy to do it. And you know what I got
Yes.
to say on this? Play
Exactly.
ball.
Yes.
Let's
Good.
get it on.
Okay. Goodbye, Ryan. Bye.
Goodbye. Nice meeting you.